Hey guys, I'm Mark Miller, and today we're doing a review of the Rotation 34L backpack from Mindshift Gear. Alright, so before we get started, full disclosure, Mindshift Gear did send this bag out to me in exchange for a video review, but there's no strings attached. They didn't ask me to say anything or talk about anything in particular, just offer my own personal thoughts and opinions, any likes and dislikes that I might have, and hopefully that'll help you guys make your decision when you're shopping for your next bag. All right, so let's start with the build and appearance of this bag. It doesn't look like your traditional camera bag. It kind of looks more like a hiking bag, which is really cool. It's not gonna bring any unwanted attention to your expensive camera gear. Then it's made out of a durable, weatherproof DWR material. It's water, rain resistant, and I had it out in some pretty wet and damp conditions when I was in Oregon, and I didn't have any trouble with it at all. It stayed really dry on the inside. The water and dirt and everything just kind of rolls right off it, so that's really awesome. And then it's got some nice heavy zippers on the top here. It's got the big YKK zippers that are weather sealed, and it's got this lip that goes over it. So you don't have to worry about your gear getting wet or ruined. This bag is definitely going to protect it. If you want some extra protection, they do offer a rain jacket that's sold separately. I don't have that, and I'm not really sure that you need it unless you're going to really be beating this thing and have it out in some heavy rain. But even then, it's pretty water resistant, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about that. When it comes to comfort, this bag is designed really well. You've got three big panels here on the back that are cushioned. They've got channels in them, and they're mesh to help them stay ultra breathable, so you're not going to be hot and sticky. It's got a nice solid waist belt here that is not removable, so that might be a deal breaker for some people, but it is part of the key feature of this bag, and we'll get into that in a little bit. You've got your shoulder straps that are about 2 or 3 inches wide. They're cushioned, and again with the mesh to help them stay breathable. You've got your sternum strap there as well, and then you've got your load straps here, which help pull the bag closer to your back. So when you've got it all dialed in with the waist belt and the shoulder straps, it's extremely comfortable. You're not going to feel the pain in your shoulders. It takes the load and sits it on your hips. So I had this thing loaded up extremely full. It's pretty heavy. Walked for hours up and down beaches and trails in the woods, and I never really felt it at all. So when it comes to comfort, this bag is really well designed, and you're gonna like it. Let's take a look at the exterior pockets and features. You've got these little loops all down the front side of the bag here. They allow you to connect some carabiners, extra straps, and it helps you attach some extra accessories to your bag if you need to. They've got this Stash Master pocket on the front, and what it's designed for is to stuff a jacket or a blanket inside there. I don't use it a whole lot myself, but it is nice if you've got a jacket that's gotten wet from the rain. You can roll it up, stuff it inside there, and then it keeps your wet jacket away from everything on the inside of the bag. Next, we have a front pocket here, and it's a slim pocket. I've got an accessory pouch with batteries and chargers in there, and it's pretty deep, goes all the way down to the bottom. Like I said, it is narrow, but it is a pretty big pocket. You've got a side pocket here to stuff your large water bottles in, or you can use it for your tripod. You can throw a tripod leg through here if you got a small one, stuff a couple legs in there and attach that on the side. That's typically what I like to use it for, but it does have a front attachment for your tripod as well. You can open this up, a little strap comes out, and then down in the bottom, it's got another Velcro and another loop comes out, and you slide your tripod down the back side of the bag here. A lot of people like to carry it that way. It keeps it centered and even on your body. I usually carry a small tripod, so that's why I use the side one, but both work perfectly well. The last pocket on the exterior here is on the top. It's a little zipper. Got a microfiber towel in there, and a headlamp. You can put a whole lot more in there. It's a really good sized pocket. It goes from side to side and down to about here. You can throw memory card cases in there, lens cloths, a rocket blower. You could even stuff a small lens in there if you needed to. So you've got a lot of options on the exterior to stash some gear. But the exciting part of this bag is what you can do on the inside. So let's go take a look at that. The interior storage in the Rotation 180 is really what drew me to it in the first place. Like I said, I needed something that could carry all of my camera gear and then a whole lot more, looking for my hiking gear, jackets, and all that. So let's take a look at the inside. The first, you got the top portion. It's got two zippers that pull around. Then it opens up like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what's all in there. But before we do that, you can see that there's actually quite a bit more space in there to put extra stuff, more than what I've got in there at this point. But right now I've got a rain jacket in there, extra hoodie, and then I've got my filter cases. And then you can see down inside there, it is a really deep pocket there. All kinds of room for whatever you need. You do have this mesh pocket here as well. It's got an elastic top on it. I've got a camera strap, memory card holder, and then a lens cloth in there. So I've got all that in the top, and it wasn't even packed out all the way. And like I said, depending on what you're shooting and what your situation you're in, you can customize it and put whatever you want in there. You could put extra camera gear if you needed to. There are no dividers or customizable inserts for it, but Mindshift does sell what they call a Stash Master tote that kind of slides in there. So if you've got a lot of camera gear and you want some extra protection with your normal ICU type case, it's got the padding. It slides in there and you can zip it up, and then you've got a whole extra section there just for your typical camera gear. So that's the top half, and that's what I really was looking for, something that would allow me to carry all this kind of stuff when I'm out shooting and avoid having to take things in and out of the car, making several trips. I could just carry everything that I needed and not have to worry about leaving something behind that I might need. And now that brings us to your camera gear itself and how that's stored. Typically in a camera bag, you would come to the back side and unzip this back panel, and it opens up, and then you'd see all your camera gear stored inside there. But the way that the Rotation 180 is designed is to avoid having to do that, to take your bag off and sit it down. It gives you instant access to all of your most important gear without taking your bag off. And I'll admit, when I first saw the concept, I wasn't really sold on it. I kind of thought it looked a little bit weird. But the more I thought about it, it actually makes a whole lot of sense, and it's very practical. And if you're someone like me that's got a little bit of OCD about keeping things clean and neat and organized, it's actually the perfect bag. So the one thing I hate is when I'm shooting in a situation where I don't want to sit my bag down, whether it's really wet or muddy, and I don't want to get, the bag's made to get dirt and stuff on it, but the way I am, I just don't want it to happen. So I always end up trying to either keep my bag with me, or I end up sitting it further away from me than I want to, just to avoid letting it get dirty. And you run the risk of somebody walking by and snagging your bag when you got your back to it. Or you're gonna bring it up close to where you're shooting and you're gonna lay it down and it's gonna get wet or dirty. And that's not something that I wanna do. So the way this bag works is you've got this little magnetic clip here, and it pulls out, and this opens up, and this thing rotates around your body with the belt on, and this is where all of your camera gear is stored. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up, show you what's all in there as well. It looks fairly small, but it holds quite a bit of gear, and it's very, very useful. And like I said, I was a little skeptical at first, but after using it and having it with me for a week out in Oregon and the beaches and the woods, I actually absolutely love this design. So let's take a look inside. All right, so when you spin the belt around itself, typically it's gonna stay on you because it's connected there to your waist. It does have a little leash here that you can connect to the main bag, just so it doesn't come completely separated. Right now we're just gonna set that aside and go ahead and open this up and see what we got. So it does have 2 zippers that help keep this bag secure, but it does have built-in magnets here, so the bag snaps shut and it's not just gonna flop open on you when you're pulling it out. So I rarely have those, but if you wanna make sure it's completely secure, you do have zippers on there as well. So when you open it up, you do have a little Velcro pouch here. Again, got lens cloth in there, lens cap. So it has a little Velcro pocket up on the top. It's got these little adjustable loops here to allow the top to open all the way up or stand up like that. Got my camera in here with a 17 to 28. This is a Sony a7 III. And then I've got a rocket blower. And I've got my Tamron 28 to 75 lens. And on the other side, I've got my NiSi 15mm wide angle lens. So you've got 3 compartments here. These are all adjustable, so no matter what your camera setup is, you can move it around. It does have these little flip up pouches so you can stack 2 lenses on top of each other or something underneath there. But like I said, it's all removable Velcro, so you can adjust it how you want. And then on the back side here, you've got a little slim pocket, and that is where I keep my filter holder. I've got some cords and remotes in there. And so you've got quite a bit of space inside this as well. So it does look small, but you can pack quite a bit of gear in there depending on what you're shooting with. You can put more lenses, you can put multiple bodies. Just depends on what you're working with and you know, what you need for that certain situation. For me, this works great. I can get to all my gear. I don't have to worry about taking my bag off and sitting it down to switch lenses or get my filters out. And it's really a cool concept. So I can't stress that enough. No matter what you think that it looks like, it's definitely extremely practical. I love it. This is probably going to be one of my go-to bags going forward. So that's a Rotation 34L backpack by Mindshift Gear. They do offer it in 2 other sizes. You can get a 20L or a 50L Plus. The 50L Plus is a really big bag. I think it's going to be best suited for somebody that is doing some long overnight hiking excursions where you need to have a lot of gear, extra clothes and stuff like that. The 34L worked out perfect for my trip out west. I was away from my vehicle for extended periods of time, but I never had to worry about leaving anything behind or sacrificing gear because I had a lot of space for everything that I needed. I think the 20L is going to be your best for everyday shooting. You're going out to shoot a sunset or sunrise. It's not a overly large bag. You've got a little bit of extra space for some extra things that you might want to carry along, but it's going to have all your standard camera gear for whatever you're going out to shoot that day. So they've got 3 great options depending on what you're looking for. They should have something that works for you. Let's talk a little bit about some pros and cons. We'll start with the cons. First, you are not able to remove the sternum strap or the waist strap. Some people really like to be able to do that. And that's not an option on this bag. So that could be a little bit of a pain point for some people. And there's also no pass-through luggage strap here on the back, so you can't throw it onto your suitcase and drag it through the airport that way. It comes in 2 colors. You've got this gray and green, and then you can get it in a solid green. Personally, I really like all black bags. That's just a personal opinion, but I do like the gray here and the black. But it's just one of those things where some people may have preferences over, you know, colors and aesthetics. So for the pros though, this bag is extremely comfortable. It's not going to wear you out. You can load it up, and it's very adjustable. You're going to be able to limit the load on your shoulders, and you're not going to fatigue. The design of it is brilliant, and like I said, I was a little bit skeptical of the waist belt sliding around at first, but after using it and thinking about how practical it is, it's awesome. I really love the design of it, and it's honestly a game changer for me, and I probably will stick to bags of this style going forward. And lastly, it's a very versatile bag. You've got all your camera gear down below that you got quick access to, and then you've got the top portion where you can stuff it full of everything and anything, and you're never gonna have to worry about leaving something behind. So overall, it's a really great bag. I'm super happy that they sent it out to me, and it's definitely gonna be my bag going forward. The Rotation 180 bags by Mindshift Gear retail for $299 in the US. That's right on par with every other high-end quality bag that you're gonna find out there. I don't question whether this bag's worth it or not. Everything on it is top notch. The stitching, the details are all fantastic. You got to think of it as an investment, and you're protecting your gear. So I would have no problem spending the $300 of my own money to get this bag. And in fact, I'm very likely going to do it here shortly because I want the 20L version, just so when I'm running out the door to shoot sunrise or sunset, I've got the smaller version. And I don't need to carry this big bag when I don't need all the extra gear with me. So I think it's fantastic. It's really well made. I think it's going to be worth every penny. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to drop them down below. And if you like gear reviews and photography related content, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.